In a war-torn galaxy, Babylon 5 stands as a beacon of hope, a space station in neutral territory aimed at fostering diplomacy and peace. Amidst escalating conflicts and fragile alliances, the series explores the delicate balance between war and peace, and the persistent dream that disparate races can find common ground. However, for some, this dream seems nearly impossible to attain. Nowhere is this more evident than in the bitter relationship between the Centauri and the Narn, two civilizations bound by a shared history of domination, war, and deep-seated hatred. In this video, I'd like to discuss the complex history between the Centauri and Narn and how they are forced to confront their past and the possibility of peace in the light of their violent history. Behind the Minbari, the Centauri are the most technologically advanced of the younger races. Their civilization is marked by aggressive expansion, with the Centauri Republic spanning numerous colonies and worlds. Their government is called a republic, but like many of the actions of the Centauri, this is merely for appearance's sake, as despite its name, their government operates as an aristocratic empire controlled by a privileged few. Along with the emperor, power is concentrated among the nobles, while the average citizen has little influence. The royal court serves as the main avenue to power, with members holding high government positions. The Centauri's relationships with other races are marked by a blend of opportunism, manipulation, and at times grudging respect for those they cannot easily control. When it came to their dealings with the Narn, the Centauri's greedy imperialist ambition was on full display. The Narn are a resilient and deeply spiritual race, known for their strong sense of family and community. While they may not be as technologically advanced as some other civilizations, they were far from primitive. They had achieved spacefaring capabilities and had even begun to colonize other worlds. The Narn were peaceful, yet they came to pride themselves on their physical strength, viewing any weakness with shame. On their homeworld, the Narn welcomed the Centauri visitors with open arms when first contact was made. The Centauri, who were initially cordial, coveted the resource-rich Narn homeworld. The Centauri soon returned to launch a brutal invasion and occupation of the Narn, swiftly capitalizing on their technological superiority to subjugate the population and impose a harsh regime of forced labor. They stripped the planet of its resources, devastating the environment, transforming the once verdant world into a barren, dust-ravaged landscape. This period of occupation lasted for over a century, leaving deeply entrenched scars in the Narn's psyche and laying the foundation for generations of hatred. As the occupation dragged on, the Narn launched a resistance, employing guerrilla tactics and leveraging their intimate knowledge of the terrain to weaken the Centauri's foothold. As the Narn resistance grew, over time they were able to reverse engineer captured Centauri technology and weapons and strike back against their oppressors, whose empire had begun to weaken due to internal strife and overextension of its forces. Engaged in a war of attrition, the Narn eventually drove the invading Centauri from their world. They then declared their independence, forming the Narn regime. Thereafter, their deep-seated animosity towards their enemy continued to have a profound impact on their society. A peaceful farming civilization no more, after a century of enslavement and exploitation, this harsh reality of their circumstances ignited a profound shift in Narn culture. The Narn came to embrace their warrior traditions with renewed fervor. No longer content to remain passive, the Narn adopted a more aggressive and expansionist approach, mirroring the tactics of their former oppressors. They began seeking out opportunities to extend their influence, actively scouting for resources and territories to exploit in order to strengthen their fledgling regime. Their quick ascent from an oppressed populace to an embittered and militant galactic power spoke to the magnitude of their rage and combative spirit, focused on building a strong and aggressive civilization that would never again be vulnerable to external domination. At the dawn of the Third Age of mankind, the Babylon Project marked a shift in the socio-political landscape of the universe. In a war-torn galaxy, Babylon 5 was a dream for peace given form, a space station in neutral territory where ambassadors representing the different races of the galaxy could meet and attempt to work out their differences. When it comes to the Centauri and Narn, the idea of peace seemed impossible. The interactions between the Centauri ambassador Londo Mollari and the Narn ambassador G'Kar within the halls of Babylon 5 revealed the lingering wounds of their past as former conquerors and the once conquered. No doubt for Londo, seeing G'Kar and how far the Narn race had come in the wake of their oppression exposed the rot within their once great empire and how far the Centauri Republic had fallen from their glory days with seemingly unstoppable power and influence. For G'Kar, seeing Londo stirred in him a seething determination to reclaim what was taken from them, along with a fierce desire to seek justice and vengeance for the atrocities committed against his people. Little did they know that their response to a simple question would set off a chain of events instigated by darker, sinister forces that would reignite the flames of war and suffering between their two races. G'Kar was asked by a mysterious stranger, "What do you want?" His reply, "The Centauri stripped my world. I want justice, to suck the marrow from their bones and grind their skulls to powder, to tear down their cities, blacken their sky, sow their ground with salt, to completely and utterly erase them." Londo, on the other hand, wanted more. His response to the same question, "I want my people to reclaim their rightful place in the galaxy. I want to see the Centauri stretch forth their hand again and command the stars. I want a rebirth of glory, a renaissance of power. I want to stop running through my life like a man late for an appointment, afraid to look back or to look forward. I want us to be what we used to be. I want it all back, the way that it was." This is what the mysterious agent wanted to hear. G'Kar had no other plan beyond exacting revenge on their former oppressors. Londo had more grand ambitions that played right into the hands of a far more powerful and sinister force. A dangerous alliance was formed between the Centauri and the Shadows, a mysterious and ancient enemy that would ignite a new war between these two rivals as part of their larger scheme to engulf the entire galaxy in war, death, and destruction. In the unforgiving landscape of the Babylon 5 universe, the conflict between the Centauri and Narn serves as a powerful testament to the enduring cycles of vengeance and destruction that have shaped their history. Despite the noble intentions behind the Babylon Project, a beacon of peace and diplomacy, the deep-seated hatred and longing for retribution that defined the Centauri-Narn relationship ultimately reignited old flames of war. The interactions between Londo Mollari and G'Kar revealed not just personal animosities, but the broader struggles of their respective civilizations, both grappling with the legacies of conquest and subjugation. In the end, with more at stake than just the fate of their own peoples, the Centauri and Narn were forced to confront the consequences of their actions and grapple with what victory would ultimately mean for their respective races. As the story of Babylon 5 unfolds, we see whether the idea of peace could ever be more than just a dream under the crushing weight of so much bloodshed and hatred. But I'm curious to know how you feel about the history of hatred between the Centauri and Narn. Are there any moments between Londo Mollari and G'Kar that stand out to you? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more Babylon 5 and other sci-fi and fantasy news and lore. And if you're looking for other ways to show your appreciation, you can check out my Patreon page, where members get access to exclusive content and perks. Thank you all so much for your support. And as always, have a very nerdy day.